I, okay. Basically, right, Rui stated that if he had recovered like all his blood and the blood he distributed it between his family, right? At full power, he would have regained all his strength, and right after, it verbatim states that if he had done so, he would have succeeded against like the court members, right? The court members being Tanjiro and his group and Hashira, right? And right before this, it talks about how what should we call it? Muzan expects Rui to be able to defeat a Hashira, and then it continues if before fighting them he had reclaimed the abilities he appointed to his family members, right? He would have succeeded. It's talking about like a Rui versus the Hashira, and then like right after it correlates that by saying he would have succeeded, right? But because he got emotional while fighting the other core members, he didn't succeed. You could that's not gonna be my skill. And you're gonna ask why is it gonna be a correlation? Basically, he's above the Hashira, right? And basically we know that Shinobu didn't stronger in like the time frame whenever it comes to like MT arc to the Infinity arc, right? So because there's not going to be any quantifiable difference in strength, this same Shinobu is verbatim stated in the LN that she's about to kill Doma, right? With her last strike, right? So basically, she's oh my god, consistently outpacing Doma, right? And at the end, she receives a death vamp, which causes her to blitz Doma and put him into a corner. So basically, Rui is just gonna scale above Doma. I mean, above Shinobu, who's gonna scale above Doma, or like relative to Doma.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I need to write all this down so I can, because it's a lot of points. So track it all.
But just content right now and write it later, bro. Come on.
No, I'm not writing the argument. I'm just writing what you said so I can remember it. Because there's a lot of points. Right.
Alright, bro. You do you.
Okay, wait. All right. I'll just debunk it. So the way it says that he might have succeeded. I don't think it goes on about the point of him fighting the Hashira. I think it's referring to when he fought. Wait. Let me repeat that. So when you said he might have succeeded, that just means that he's taking all of his family's blood, right? Is that what you were saying before? That he's gonna like if he took all of his family's blood, he would be Hashira level. Is that what you're trying to say, or like defeat Hashira?
No, basically, the statement correlates the initial sentence, right? That talks about how Muzan thinks he could have defeated a Hashira, right? Then it correlates it with the second statement, which is gonna be in reference to how he wasn't at full power, right? So whenever he's at full power, he's gonna be above the Hashira, right?
I mean,
However,
has
no,
Muzan has
and the reason it wait, the reason it states possibility whenever it like claims however is because what you may call it, the only reason it says this is because he got emotional, right? We see this throughout, like this is shown on screen whenever he gets emotional over his family, right? Like he gets scared once he sees his family is like getting dropped, right? Like all his family members are dying, the family he built, right? So I think this is just gonna be inconsistent within like the narrative that we see, right? So it's not gonna be talking about how might have. I think might have is going to imply possibility, which is going to correlate with the narrative.
I think you're being dishonest. He was only emotional about how not Shinobu, about how Nezuko was like a sister to Tanjiro, and it seems like he gets more emotional against him rather than his family dying because he literally killed one of his family members once, and I'm pretty sure he as well like tortured one of his family members. He doesn't really know what it's like to have a family. But another point is that what else is there? It says he might have succeeded. So I think it's just referring to there being a might, there being a possibility that he could have succeeded against a Hashira. But we obviously don't know what Hashira they're talking about, since we know the Hashiras have like lots of different powers, different like attacks, different speeds. So we don't know if it's referring to Shinobu or anyone else. We don't know which Hashira it's referring to. And what else I wanted to say is that Shinobu outpacing Doma, I think that just upscales Akaza. Since Akaza and Rengoku went like relative, and Tanjiro and Nanosuke couldn't react to them blitzing each other, not blitzing, to their blitzing. So, and then Tanjiro is somehow able to react to Gihu and Shinobi. So I would just say Akaza has better outpacing speeds than Shinobu. If you were going to use Shinobu to scale, then I think Kaza would outscale her I mean, scale above her in terms of speed by a lot.
Okay, so I'm not being dishonest. Whenever I say he cares about his family, it's because it's gonna be in reference to his old family, right? Like for example, how he gets emotional at the end of his life, right? Whenever he's dying, he thinks about his family and how he goes to hell with his family, right? He's talking like whenever I say this, is because like what you like. Obviously, even you make the point that he cares about Nezuko, right? Because he sees the relationship Nezuko has with Tanjiro, and he wants that. That's the whole narrative, like portrayal of why he wanted Nezuko as a sister, right? But disregarding this, you brought up the point that just because Shinobu was outpacing Doma, and I would just upscale what you may call it Akaza, but that's just not the case because Akaza himself, right? He thinks that what you call it Doma 100 years ago was much stronger than him. Like whenever they interact, right before the Infinity Castle arc, he punches Doma, right, and then Kokushibo brings up, oh, if you care so much, then why don't you fight him? And Akaza thinks to himself, oh, I would lose to Doma, and like which when Doma himself states that their last interaction was 100 years ago. Therefore, Akaza believes he's below Doma 100 years ago. So current Doma should be significantly stronger than Akaza by a large amount, right? And then you bring up what you may call it points about how this could just be referring to another Hashira, and then like it says might have. That's irrelevant. I already addressed the Mida point. I already told you it's gonna be referring to possibility, right? And then it correlates this with of the sentence right before, which notates how Muzan thinks that he's above a Hashira, right? And whenever it says Hashira, it's gonna be talking about Shinobu and Giyu, obviously, because this is generalizing the corpse members, right? And it just says it right there. Let me read it for you. Succeeded while fighting the corpse member, right? The corpse members are just gonna be generalization to like the demon slayer as a whole. That's gonna be the Hashira, Tanjiro's group, and other members, right? So it's gonna be like a generalization to them as a whole. So whenever it references Hashira, it's just gonna be in reference to Shinobu and Giyu because there's not gonna be any other Hashira, and it's gonna correlate with that same statement because it's talking about how he might have succeeded. So whenever it says this, it's talking about like how he didn't succeed the other time because he wasn't at full power. So I don't know where you're making like really the argument of this, right?
Okay, so with the family point you made, doesn't that just prove that he's like conflicted always? Just my question, because that just means that he's going to be always conflicted as his own character. I don't think that's a downscale to like because there's no hypothetical on where you can say, oh, what if Ryu wasn't conflicted? That's just how his character is. It doesn't make sense to discard that unless you're like just explain that, and then I'll just get into everything.
I never said this though. I said at the end of his life, whenever he was dying, he was very conflicted, right? And when he saw Nezuko and Tanjiro's relationship, is whenever he got conflicted. And the statement wouldn't bring this up if it wasn't because of that. Like they wouldn't mention how he's conflicted in a fight, like specifically, right? If he was always conflicted, they would notate this. They wouldn't bring it up as a one-time occasion, right? And it just says right there if he wasn't like, no, wait, let me read it for you. Where is it? However, he gets emotional while fighting. That means he's not always emotional. That implies he's not always going to be emotional or he's fighting somebody.
Okay.
So no,
Okay.
it's not going to be
All right.
an incorrect thing.
All right. Let me just contend to the other points. So you already you already like told me that Akaza thinks that he would lose to Doma, which I don't really agree with since what else? Okay, since wait. Okay, since Akaza is scared of Doma and Kokushibo, he knows that like because they're higher rank that he's gonna think that he's below the two, and they did have fights before, but he's just probably scared of, of the fact on how strong Doma is and how strong Kokushibo is. Like, let's just say, for example, you're in like you're in jiu-jitsu and you're like a, I don't know, let's make up a rank like a green belt, and then yellow belts like two ranks above you. You're gonna like see that these yellow belts are definitely above you because of the rank difference. And I don't really think that Muzan's statement is valid because Muzan liked Ryu very much. So obviously he's gonna have more better expectations for Ryu than all the other lower moons. So like, I mean, we do see this with when Muzan kills all the lower moons except for Enmu because of how useless they were. So that's my argument against that.
Oh, okay. So you brought up the rank like argument, but again, that's gonna be like contradictory with with Akaza's portrayal as a character in whole. Like in verse, right? He's gonna want to strive for being higher. So if he believes he's stronger than, for example, Kokoshibo, he's gonna challenge him. And we know they've fought him before, Kokoshibo and Doma. Like Doma took his rank. Like it wasn't something Akaza. I'm pretty sure Akaza was already ranked two, and Doma took his rank. So if Akaza already has previous knowledge of them fighting and he still believes he'd lose to Doma, he wouldn't have any reason to like not fight Doma just because he's higher rank. He just hates him, and he like constantly talks about how he wants to take his role, and even like he challenges Kokoshibo saying, "Oh, he's gonna get significantly stronger," and even the narrative at the end, he like Kokoshibo disappointed him how he lost to Tanjiro because he was conflicted, obviously, right? So no, in verse, it's not gonna fit Akaza as a character, right? It just doesn't make sense for him to like be scared just because something is like a higher rank than him. He's always gonna have pre-existing knowledge of their fight, and he's still gonna believe he's gonna lose to Doma. And you also made an argument earlier about how like what you call it, Tanjiro could like perceive uh could perceive something. I don't know what you said. I want you to repeat that. And what do you call it? For the Muzan argument, yeah, it doesn't matter because this isn't like specifically from Muzan. This is gonna be a statement from like the author, right? Because obviously the author is gonna be writing this down because it's from the data books, right? So it's gonna be an only see a narration talking about this. So if Muzan truly believes that like Roy is gonna be able to defeat a Hashira, and then like the narrative like right after supports this by saying it, he would have succeeded if like for example he would have been at full power, and like it isn't gonna be like a biased induced statement. It's gonna be something that's gonna be true.
Okay, so I'll just move back to like the point that you wanted me to explain. So Ren, Goku, and Akaza were going relative. Tanjiro tries to react and try to help Ren Goku, but he isn't able to perceive it, and so couldn't and Nosuke. And Tanjiro and Inosuke were able to like react to Gyu's and not Inosuke, Tanjiro and Nezuko were able to react to Shinobu and Gihu fight. Like they were able to actually perceive it and not get sleevelets. We've seen this in like the first fight with Tanjiro and Gihu. Gihu has a pretty hard time to like actually react to Tanjiro. I mean, yeah, pretty much relative reaction speed. So I would say that Rengoku and Akaza just have better speeds and if you're just using Shinobu scaling to put Ryu above Shinobu, then I would just put Akaza to be way superior in reaction speed in terms of that. And another point you made was that I'm not this point, but in the same thing, it says that his now we're just using his weak state, right? We're just using it states that his strength is equivalent to your lower rank one and two. I'm pretty sure this has like one contradiction to the series because Tanjiro states himself that he thought Ryu was more stronger than Enmu. Mind you, Enmu had the Muzan blood amp, so she was like even amped even more to her normal rank. And Tundra fought Ryu was above Enmu. So if we're gonna use that the author wrote this, then this has like a contradiction because um, one thing states that Ryu is lower rank one or two, but then another thing states that Ryu is far beyond lower rank one. So I guess you should attack that. Now you can go.
Okay, that just means that Roy is like surpassed that like strength. Like he's gonna be like lower rank one, and this is gonna be without a full power two. This is talking about Roy whenever he still separated his
Yeah,
blood. So not gonna be talking about Roy in
yeah,
general.
yeah. The point is that
Obviously, and yeah, and obviously Tandro could be making that statement, but he only has like limited knowledge, right? So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really like affect the statement as a whole. If an Omi seeing like statement is saying he's gonna be lower rank or two, I just mean it means wait, that doesn't mean anything. Because if let's say Emu is like lower rank one, right? That means there's gonna be a significant gap between lower one rank. I mean, oh my god, lower rank one and upper moon six. That means Giyu is just. I mean, oh my god, not Giyu. Yutaro is gonna be significantly stronger than Emu. So even if like Rui is gonna be lower rank one, right? Like, he's not gonna be stronger than Yutaro at that point without his full power. And what was your other point about like Oh yeah, you said that uh Tanjiro can't react to Rengoku and Akaza fighting, but he can react to Shinobu and Gyu fighting. Okay, this is just so blatantly contradictory because we legit see whenever Gyu is slices Ryu's head off, Tanjiro can't react to that. They didn't even know it happened. Um, so that's already gonna be a contradiction within your point, and you're also presupposing they were serious whenever they were fighting. I don't believe they were serious because for one, Gyu was just trying to restrain her, and for two, Shinobu didn't have the intent to kill, or else she would have like you know that little sharp thing she had in her boot, she would have killed him right there. So there was no intent to kill. While in contrast, right, whenever Gyu was fighting Ryu, he had like the intent to kill. That's why what do you call it? Fucking oh my god, what's the nigga's name? Tanjiro is like not able to react to like Gyu attacks whenever he attacked Rui right after.
I think you made a contradiction with this point. All right, I'll just ask a question, and then
Hmm.
after that question, I can go on with the debunk. So you said before that the offer writes this down. He's gonna like showcase how strong Ryu is. I think you're kind of conflicting on what you said before because you disagreed with the fact that like Tanjiro's statement has no good data, even though that you said before that the author is writing this, so he's obviously gonna give us an entailment that Rihu is above Enmu. That's what you said before, but you didn't say something like that. That's what you tried to say like before about another point about the Muzan point, which I think would directly correlate to the point that I was making before. So you can go ahead and like try to answer that question, and then I'll just like
Okay,
debunk.
there's gonna be a distinguishment whenever I talk about those two instances though. Whenever Muzan makes or whenever like a statement says that Muzan expects Rui to be able to defeat a Hashira, it's gonna be written down by the author himself, right? There's gonna be a distinguishment because Tanjiro has limited knowledge on like Rui, right? Like maybe from his experience, right, he's gonna believe that Rui's stronger than Enmu, right? Like for example, let's say I fight like this small tiger, right? And I'm beaten like nearly to death, right? Then I have another experience with a big bear, but I feel like this bear didn't do as much because like the other experience was more traumatic for me. Like I took way more damage. While in a bear fight, I escaped or like I just took a paw swipe. So I'm gonna be the tiger was stronger. There's not gonna be any like it's not gonna be an objective thing. Whenever an omniscient narration states it, it's gonna be an objective thing.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to find that scan. Are you aware of Tanjiro pretty much? Okay, wait. I'll just debunk like the points you made before, and then wait. I kind of like lost track, but like I'll try to remember what I did remember because like this is a pretty lot of points at the same time. Okay. So you said Tanjiro has limited knowledge, but the way Tanjiro actually detects on how strong someone is, he uses the scent to be able to tell or how strong an attack is or how strong a person is. So when he used the scent on Rihu, mind you, it's not that he forgot how strong Rihu is because we see like Tanjiro stating that Akaza scent is the closest scent he ever smelled against towards Muzan. So Akaza scent is like the closest he's seen towards Muzan, which I think would entail that Tanjiro scent is pretty reliable since Tanjiro, this is how Tanjiro checks on how strong someone is, and this is one of his abilities. I don't think his abilities ever like contradicted anything. So when he used the scent of Rihu versus Enmu, yes, I agree that Rihu was whatever the hell. Like we can just use your point of how Rihu wasn't at max strength. That's okay. I wasn't arguing that max strength Ryu was above, but I was just pointing out that there's a contradiction with the that book or whatever the hell you just showed to the series itself. If Ryu was stronger than Enmu, this would be a really significant difference. It isn't a little one because Enmu got Muzan's blood and he couldn't even handle the power, but he's able to handle his own power without like trying to like get himself killed. So I don't think that this is fair. Of like I mean, I don't think the scan's fair with the like connected to like the narrative. Like I think it's kind of contradictory the narrative. Um, and I think the other point you made was that Gifu reacts to
Oh
Akaza.
wait.
I just
Okay, so just
yeah.
get wait. There's a point here. Okay, yeah, I just seen the statements right. Um, he's kind of just hinting at possibility. I'm gonna ask you to justify why he's making a claim here, and also I'm pretty sure this is before Enmu revealed that the whole train was her body. So he's fighting like a base Inmu and not like the train itself. I think that's gonna be a non-defeater. And even if like I say I grant you this point, I already explained how like it doesn't really matter because let's say Rui is lower rank one, right? That's not gonna be a contradiction because that just means Upper Moon six is gonna be significantly stronger than like what like a non-full power Rui would be, right?
Um, what? Okay, wait. I don't think that Enmu was literally controlling the train after she got killed, not before. I don't think she was. I don't think she was consuming the whole train. I don't think she was during that time because we don't see her doing anything like that. We don't see her like going inactive a few times in the battle and like try to like do something while like Tanjiro gets affected by her sleep attack. We don't really like see that. We don't see anything like that. So I don't think. And it also states that her whole train is going to become her blood, flesh, and bones. So it's just basically her converting her whole body into a train. It doesn't increase her power or durability. It just means that she's going to consume more humans in the train. This is how she consumed the last train, and that's why Rengoku came in to like check out what the fuck's going on. And
Yeah,
another
I just okay.
wait,
I just believe that Tanjiro. Wait, I'll just say this. I just believe Tanjiro isn't making a claim. I think he's just hinting at possibility, right? Like he's saying, "Oh, maybe this guy's gonna be weaker than the other guy." And again, it could just be like on a basis of traumatic experience. And you also brought up the fact that oh well, Tanjiro has a reliable scent, but he never even mentions the scent here. He just hinting at how like he's probably struggling less against Inmu and Ryu, and this could literally just be in reference to how Tanjiro probably got stronger. Because okay, there's this mystery statement. Basically, she states whenever you fight a strong opponent, you're gonna get progressively stronger, right? Like she got significantly stronger after fighting Upper Moon 4. So I think the case is that Tanjiro after fighting an Upper Moon 1 demon, like at least at the level, right? That's gonna be like a baseline level for a non full power Rui. I think he got stronger and he just didn't realize it. And it's like cause up until this point Tanjiro wasn't really like gaining like significant amps, right? So whenever he received his first layer amp and he let's say he fought Enmu, he wasn't aware of his own like physical capabilities, right? So whenever he's struggling less with Enmu, he's like, oh, is he just weaker, right? And or this could also just mean that Enmu doesn't have as strong as of what you may call it, um oh my god, of Blood Art, right? And also Enmu is Upper Moon 1 just because what you may call it, there's no other like oh
Upper Moon 1. What is he? I think he's saying the things wrong. Okay, proceed. He probably got in trouble. I think I should like move on with the thing. Should I just move? Should I just move on to what I'm gonna say?
yeah, my bad. No, I'm not finished yet. Oh my god. fuck, that was a horrible stutter. But yeah, as I was saying, right, he could just be Lower Moon One just because there's no other Lower Moons left, right? And also, whenever the statement talks about oh he could be Lower Moon One or Two, it could be in reference to a generalization, right? Like for example, Enmu doesn't have to be baseline Lower Moon One, right? Like there could be other Lower Moons One before her that were stronger, right? Like for example, let's say Gyutaro at one point was Lower Moon One, right? That could be like the generalization for Lower Moon One. Like it doesn't have to be specifically talking about like the current like Lower Moon One. It wouldn't like it doesn't. I just don't think there's gonna be like correlation, bro.
But
I think
okay, okay. So with the Tanjiro scent thing, I think you're very wrong on that because whenever Tanjiro senses a demon, he uses the scent first. That's why he thought of Akaza as the closest scent to Luzon. He also saw it with Gatoro, and whatever the fuck his name is. He saw it with him and uses the scent, and he was like shitting himself because he kind of didn't. He was already like injured from Daki fight, and Daki's literally with him, and Daki's literally completely fine because you know how demons can regenerate quite easily, and the only person there to help him was Tengen. He only thought about helping Tengen, so yeah. So I just think that the Chandra scent is reliable because he senses the power of demons. This is just his ability. I don't think your point of you saying that what if Chandra fought a bear and he bashed the bear, but then I can't remember. He said something like that. He's not using it off of guess. He's using it off of scent. This is what he does in every fight. That's how like when a character hits him, he's smelling that scent to see how powerful that attack is, and that's why at some
Wait,
cases. Okay,
wait,
wait.
wait, bro. Wait, I'm
Let
gonna
me.
ask you to justify that real quick. I want you to send me a panel whenever something attacks him and he smells it. And also, I think the scent is just gonna be in reference to like how much blood they have, because I think that's gonna be in correlation. Because whenever he says, "Oh, Akaza is like the closest demon to Muzan," I think it's gonna be in reference to how much blood Akaza has of Muzan. Because obviously, like the higher the rank, the more blood they have, right? So I think it's just gonna be in reference to how much blood what you may call it Akaza had or Gyutaro had, right? Like he's just gonna like know that the like for example Gyutaro is gonna have more blood than Daki. I don't think it's gonna be like in reference to power, right?
All right, wait, I'm just gonna get the scan for it to be power. Okay, wait. Uh, just wait. Okay, just wait.
Oh yeah, also contented other points too. I just need a justification for that.
Uh,
I don't know
just
if you
wait.
remember it. If you want, I can repeat it for you and you can extend.
I think you should like. I don't want you to like get annoyed, but I kind of want you to repeat your point because I need to remember it.
Okay.
It's a lot of points.
For the other point, right? I was talking about how whenever a statement talks about Lower Moon One or Two, it could just be in reference to like a generalization of like how powerful they would be, right? It doesn't have to be talking about the current demons. Like for example, let's say Gyutaro was at one point, Gyutaro and Daki were at one point Lower Moon rank one, right? Like they can make a generalization based off them, right? It doesn't have to be in reference to like the current ones, right? I don't think the statement ever implied it was in reference to the current ones.
Okay, just wait. Okay, I think you know this statement. So when Tanjiro looks at this demon, I forgot what the demon is called, but it's the one where he states that this guy is so powerful, he must have killed this many humans. I'm pretty sure you've seen that statement. So he uses the scent of the blood, but he also is trying to determine that blood to see how powerful a person is. And knowing his scent is correct on a lot of times, like him saying Akaza is stronger than Rihu character, and I think you agree that Akaza would be stronger than the Rihu that fought in season one, right? You agree with that because Akaza was like much stronger than that Rihu, and then as well as Enmu. So there's like a lot of consistency with the smell. And let me just go off when Tanjiro is fighting Rihu. he could tell that Rihu was like holding back on him in that one case. So of course he's using the scent to determine in a fight and how powerful on or what on their or what they're doing. When Chandro gets hit by this thing, I can't remember what it's called. He's using the scent to tell how strong it is. Like, I'm gonna find the statement. I can. Let me just wait. Just don't argue yet. Let me just like find it.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Just one thing though, bro. Because I already justified my other point, I'm not sure if we're gonna continue it. I just gonna justify this point, which is gonna make this a non-defeater. So if you can't continue the point, we just conclude.
And I'm pretty sure it was like since you were able to like check to debunk an old point you made, I'll just debunk the point you made before. So the Gihu part with Akaza, I'm pretty sure
Oh,
Gihu.
wait, this fucking YouTube video isn't available.
Oh, so it's pretty much just Chandra saying, "Oh, it's so strong." He's not just using that with his body reaction. He's checking the scent of the attack to tell how strong it is. That's why he protected Tengen. I have to find the scene before that because he pretty much states that this attack might damage Tengen. Or
Could you like screen record it, bro, and like send it?
wait, let me just find. I need to find it, but he's able to like wait. Okay, wait. I need to like find it. Okay, wait. But he's also able to detect on how Rihu's holding back because he's using the scent of like the body to like tell how strong someone is. He uses that determination to tell how strong someone is, determine on their blood, which is by killing humans. Obviously, when you have more blood, that means you killed more humans. It makes sense. And I'm pretty sure that would make sense on why more blood is more power anyway, because when Muzan gives Enmu the blood, Enmu is trying to get this power to redeem herself and to get stronger. And we know all these demons have parts of Muzan's blood, right? Because that's how they all get their powers. So it makes sense on why determine more power. And I'll just debunk a point you made before, the Gihu versus Aza thing. I'm pretty sure like Gihu got a lot stronger than he was previously because he was training. So of course in the training arc he would have been getting more faster, more stronger, or when his like you know what I mean, like he would have gotten improvements, vast improvements, if he was able to fight Akaza like that. There would have to be a determination of there being a very large increase rather than
Wait,
like
wait,
yeah.
when did I make the point of Gyu and Akaza? I never said that. I said that Gyu. Okay, so whenever Gyu fights Rui, Tanjiro can react to his attack. Like whenever he slices Rui's neck, Tanjiro legit says he couldn't react to the attack. So that's gonna be a contradiction with the point you made
Wait, can
that.
you wait?
Uh,
Can you wait? Can you like wait? Can you prove that? Because look, I mean, I proved the okay. I didn't prove everything I said, but I proved like a good amount. So I think you should at least like prove that.
let me find it, bro. I'm just going to manga. Wait.
Wait, my mom's here. So my mom's here. I'm gonna be debating for like 5 more minutes, and then we can like start recording.
Bro, there's gotta be a video. Just search up the fucking fight, bro. Like, cause I'll have to look through the manga. I'm gonna take a bit.
Okay, wait. I'll send you the fight. Gihu versus Ryu. Or should I just like type? Yeah, there we go. I'll just send you multiple videos. They can like. Oh shit! I'm at 1%. Let me charge that shit. Hey, say Joker is probably listening right now. And he's like,
Wait, it should find it. Just give me a second.
okay, I'm just gonna send you the videos. This one. I'll just send you all of them. This
Oh yeah, I
one.
found it. It's through 20 and 40. Wait, Demon Slayer manga. Okay.
Man, I'm fucking hot. We've been debating for like half an hour. I'm gonna mute myself. I'll be right back.
All right. Yo, you back yet, bro? Bro, Narzugon, bro, you back? I found something, bro.
All right, I'm back. I don't have like 5 minutes left.
Wait, what was, sorry, what were you saying?
Do you have the manga statement?
Okay, I don't, wait, so I'm just gonna make this simpler, right? So would you agree that, like, at this point, right, Rui would be faster than Tanjiro? It's off their fight.
Wait, Rihu faster than Tundra.
Yeah.
I think Rihu and Tundra are relative in the fight, but when he grows, I think he's like better reaction speed and all that.
Well, so you think he's, what you may call it, faster, right? Or at least, like, relative?
Okay, wait. I'll just put it in chat. Uh, so we
I
like
mean,
don't
that's
get.
fine.
I'll put it in
I
chat.
could agree. I could agree with, like, equal, bro.
I have. Oh no! Oh, fuck no! Shit. Wait.
Yeah.
Bro. Imagine I couldn't. Imagine I couldn't like
Okay,
able
okay, I don't care. I'm saying Rui versus Tanjiro, like at that point.
I
I
have them. I have them. Relative. Sure.
okay. So basically, Rui is like perception blitz by Q was
Um.
relative to time. That justifies the point.
Wait. Let's see. What did he do?
I think that's gonna justify my other point, right? That what you call it. There wasn't gonna be any in like intent to kill or like any intent to fight whenever it was Shinobu versus Gyu. That's why Tanjiro and others were able to react to them because they weren't trying. This is justified by Shinobu not killing Gyu if there was gonna be any intent to kill or any seriousness within that fight. Also, you never even attacked that point, so I think that, like going over this point is kind of like something that's not gonna be
All right.
really necessary.
Do you grant when you're training, do you grant that they're gonna use okay when let's just say when Gihu and Tsunemi are training, do you think that's an indication of them going relative with that training?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
When Tsunemi and Gihu are training, do you agree that when they're both training, do you agree with them going relative off of that training?
I don't. Okay, I don't think that's canon to mangas. No,
What we okay? What I'm pretty sure it should be,
no,
but
it never happened in the manga. Like,
wait.
the fights ever happened in the manga. I think that was just like a thing, product of it. Yeah.
Just wait. Um, let's do some Google search.
Yeah, I basically justified that Gyu is gonna be more like a perception blitz above this Tanjiro, so that's gonna be defeated to the point that he's able to see you. So there's not much you could really do here. And for their point, I just think again, I already justified why rank one is gonna be in like terms of generalization. So I don't think it's gonna be rank to Enmu or like the other like top lower rank two. I think both those points are kind of like
I'll just do a contention to like that. So I'm pretty sure it shows Tsunemi and Gihu going relative. They're fighting each other, and Tsunemi is they had the fight. They had the same fight because Andrew's there watching, and that's when.
okay. Okay, I'll grant you this. So what's gonna be the argument?
So when Gihu and when Gihu, okay, this is the argument I used against Baku. So if you debunk this well, you can argue some you Baku or at least something, bro. But like, so the argument that Baku, which I was debating before, so my argument would be that it's like when Gihu and Shinobu were fighting, Gihu wanted to protect Tanjiro and Nezuko. There would be no reason for him to hold back because he's using a sharp sword to actually like damage her. If he was going to hold back, he would be using his fists, which kind of does not make sense. But he's going to not damage her. I think he would have at least lessened his strength, which is not really shown. Because like Gihu didn't know where where Shinobu was, and when their swords clash, none of their swords break. When we see a big outclass of damage or sword having damages, there was none. So I don't think that. I just think they're both relative off of that in terms of speed and consistently in terms of strength would probably betray them being relative. So yeah.
So what's gonna be the correlation to Tanjiro?
Well, Tanjiro being able to react to it. But the point is
Okay, so that's just gonna that doesn't really matter because if he was able to perception blitz Roy who's you already agreed is gonna be relative to Tanjiro. That means they weren't trying off that. That's gonna be a justification for that. And even let's say I we disregard this point. I would just conclude off that. Okay. Take your point, Leaf. Okay, sure. Okay, so even if we were to disregard that, right? Let's say we don't take that into account. Um, Whenever Sanemi and Gi are fighting, right, it's just gonna be in like terms of training, right? And whenever like you, okay, you made like the point that Shinobu is gonna like be trying to attack these kids, right? And Gyu gonna have a reason to try. I just don't believe that's gonna be the case. I think he's gonna be trying to restraining her. That's gonna be like the point, right? He's not gonna use that much effort, and I don't think Shinobu is either because again, Nezuko isn't like a strong demon, so I don't believe that like Shinobu would have any reason to like use her full strength. And again, this is justified by the point I made earlier that she had the option to kill Giyu if she really wanted to. So I don't think that justifies relativity. I just think they were just like not trying or just taking it non seriously. And again, the perception blitz point is gonna justify that. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, we could go with conclusions now. We'll save the rec. Hey, they save the recording and give conclusions.